Hi, I'm Serotonin, and this is my Northrend Beasts 25-man normal walkthrough. Alright, for this encounter, it's actually going to be 3 phases. The first one is Gormok, the second one is Acid Maw and Dreadscale, and the third one is Ice Howl. Remember that if you should wipe on any of these, you have to start all the way back at the beginning and fight Gormok again, which can be extremely annoying, but these bosses, especially on normal difficulty, they're pretty darn easy, so you shouldn't wipe too much. For this fight, we take 2 tanks and 6 to 7 healers. Doesn't matter what kind of tanks or healers, just as long as you have them. Alright, to start off this encounter is Gormok. He's a Magnetar. When he first shows up, he'll actually be at the top where the gates are. Just have both of your tanks run up there to him and make certain that he's turned around. Of course, melee will be behind him, and then the ranged and healers just spread out all across that room. You want to make certain to do that because he does drop fire, and you will need to get out of that. As far as his abilities go, he has Staggering Stomp, which is 9k physical damage to everyone in 15 yards, and interrupts spellcasting to anyone in 15 yards. So this is the reason why ranged and healers try to stay away from him. His next ability is Impale. It is 150% weapon damage, and it does a 3 to 4k bleed every 2 seconds for 30 seconds. This happens every 10 seconds. This is the reason why you need 2 tanks to switch out. He also had Snowballed Vassals. These are the adds in the phase. There's only 6 of them on Heroic. They have about 500k health. Once they get on somebody, they will interrupt all spells. You literally cannot cast anything except for instant spells. They have a Fire Bomb, which does 4 to 5k fire damage to everyone in 8 yards. They have a Head Crack, which stuns someone for 2 seconds. And they also will batter a caster, which interrupts your spell casting. Generally for this, for the snowballs, we have melee, take out melee snowballs, range, take out range snowballs. Alright, if you will see, the tanks have pulled Gormok and he's turned around. Make certain tanks that once you get, I believe it's 2 stacks of the debuff, yeah, switch out for that. Otherwise, healers and ranged are spread out, and melee is behind him. Otherwise, I'm going to be skipping through quite a bit of these videos because otherwise it's boring. If you'll notice, there are the fire. Make certain as soon as one gets on you, see right there, you move out because it really will kill you. And just pay attention to where the snowballs are. Call out if you have one and burn them down, and good game. There you go. One thing to note is if a healer should happen to get the snowballed and say a ranged DPS gets it, I would take priority on the healer first, so that way you can get the heals back up. Alright, we're on to phase 2, Acid Maw and Dreadscale. These are gigantic Jormungers. At the start of the fight, one of them will always be grounded, the other one will be mobile. It's usually Acid Maw that is grounded, and Dreadscale that is mobile. Range and healers, make certain that you never are actually in front of them. Melee, just get behind Acid Maw. You want to burn him down first, unless of course you're going for the achievement and then burn one of them down and get started on the next one. But otherwise, whichever one is mobile, the tank that is on the mobile one, you'll actually need to move it. And try to do so in a clockwise or counterclockwise rotation, because they do drop, poo gas. Also, make certain, if you're a DPSer or a healer, make certain that you stay behind both of them. Like, you try to get in between them so that way you don't get hit by some of their really, really nasty moves. Alright, as far as ability goes, Acid Maw, this is the poison one, has Paralytic Bite. It does 12 to 15k nature damage and infects people with Paralytic Toxin. He also has Paralytic Spray, which is 8 to 9k nature damage and applies Paralytic Toxin. And Paralytic Toxin, it can only be removed by someone with Burning Bile. You'll eventually get paralyzed and literally cannot do anything if you get this for long enough. Acid Spew is another one. It does 3k nature damage to anyone in front of it. This should only ever be taken by the tank. And finally, Slime Pull. It does 5 to 6k nature damage to any one of the out in the cloud, so stay out of the Pooghast. Usually this one should be killed first. It's the most annoying, so just kill it first. And on to Dreadscale's ability. This is the one who has Burning Bile. It does 11 to 12k fire damage, and it coats you with Burning Bile debuff. This will hit the tank that it's on. It also will do Burning Spray, It does 8 to 9k fire damage, and you get the Bile debuff. What the Bile debuff is it will remove paralytic poison from somebody, and it also does AoE damage. So run to people if they have paralytic poison on them. It does Fire Spit, which does 10 to 11k fire damage in front of it. So bad news bears if you're not a tank. It also does Molten Spew, which is 4k fire damage in front of it. Make certain that they are faced away from the raid, and also once you kill one of them, the other one will enrage and do 50% more damage. Alright, at the start of the fight, they'll pop up, and Acid Maw is always grounded, Dreadscale is always loose. Make certain tanks that you immediately start taunting them to get aggro, and please, all you DPSers, as soon as they pop up and switch phases, lay off them for a couple seconds, because they do drop aggro, and we actually had a wipe this night because of that. Someone pulled aggro. They turned around, spewed everybody, and everyone died. So just watch out for that. Also, both of them will lay down the Pooghast. So tanks, just make certain that you move them as soon as you see that. Also, if you'll notice, in the middle left hand of my screen, someone has gotten paralyzed by the paralytic toxin. There was no person with burning bile around him. So make certain, if you have paralytic toxin, that you yell it out. And if you have burning bile, immediately run to the paralytic toxin people, because they will not be able to run to you. If you'll notice, we've taken down Acid Maw and we just have Dreadscale up. It's just a matter of DPSing it down, and good game. And finally, we have Ice Howl. It is a gigantic Yeti. Tanking for Ice Howl, you'll want, you only need one tank for this, luckily. And just make certain that he's facing away from the raid and that the tank is up against a wall. He does an ability that will knock the tank back. Also, once you start getting into the fight, he will actually knock everybody to the corners of the room. Once this happens, he will actually target somebody. Once he has targeted them, make certain you're paying attention to where he is facing. If you can see his face, move out of the way, move to the left or to the right. Never ever just go straight, otherwise he is going to hit you and he's going to kill you. So make certain you run to the sides. Alright, as far as his abilities go, he has Arctic Breath. It does 20k frost damage over 5 seconds. It freezes people in place. However, this can be blinked out of if you are a mage. Also, he does Whirl. It's a 9 to 10k physical damage knockback. So pretty much if you're melee, you're going to be getting knocked back. His next ability is Massive Crash. It does 10 to 11k physical damage. It knocks everyone back. This is also when he jumps to the middle of the room and will target somebody. After he targets someone, he will do a Ferocious Butt. He'll charge the person and do 70 to 80k damage if he does hit you. So get out of the way. If he does hit someone, he gets Frothing Rage. And he will increase his damage by 50%, but you can trank shot this, but hopefully everyone runs out of the way so that way he'll smack into the wall, and you can do an additional 100% damage to him. Rinse and repeat, and that's the fight. Okay, Ice Howl is the last boss in this encounter. If you'll notice, our tank is positioning himself against the wall, so as soon as Ice Howl does his knockback ability for the tank, he won't go anywhere, he won't fly anywhere. You'll also notice that he'll occasionally whirl around and all the melee fly at the range. It's kind of funny, but not. If you'll notice, he's jumped in the center, and he has spread everyone out to the walls. I luckily don't get targeted this round. But if you'll notice, he'll jump back, and that's when you should move. But oh no, someone was stupid and didn't move. So, here we go, round 2. Look, this is what should happen. He should immediately, butt himself against the wall, and you can DPS him down. At this point, as soon as he butts the wall, I would blow Heroism or Bloodlust to burn him down. So, that's it. Good game. And I'll see you at Lord Jiraxis. or as we like to call him, Lord Jokaxis.